Greetings and join us on this broadcast brought to you by Complete Insanity. So this is the weird part of YouTube or BitChute or wherever this ends up. Library. If anybody even goes there. So this is I already forgot. This is the gods of our world. Alien manipulators and Lyran human channeling. So I'm going to go in reverse a little bit. So I'm having difficulties with the Lyrans. I'm seeing controversial energies there. So according to myth or galactic myth, they're part of creating the human, a version of it that came to us. Of course, we got a version of everybody. So I'm going to connect to actually the Lyran human itself. Let's see what we get from that. I've done it before in the past. It's been a while. And I still think Trump's going to win. I want to throw that in there. I want to make a video about that too. From the judging by the energies, at least at this point, of course, it can change, but I don't think it will. Yeah, Trump's going to. I have no idea how he's going to win, but he's going to find a way to win, and it's going to get bumpy. I'm not sure when or when it's going to happen, so we're just leaving it open. But I still think he's going to win. So Biden, in all his glory, can go sit in his basement and have a nice day for the next duration of his life. So. That's the energy I see there. I'll make a video about it just to rub it in a little bit more. So, of course, you see the manipulation in the media. They're all crying, falling apart. They have no real relevance once you remove war. And there is there is like our government, just concentrating on the U.S. government being go through a drastic change where it's no longer what it is today. I think a lot of people would rather that. So I don't know when that's going to happen. But, it's obvious, but timing is unknown. Who knows? I didn't think this was going to happen this soon, so who knows? But basically, the whole structure of it breaks down where they make I would say, almost like a new constitution. But eventually it's going to go into monarchical council instead of this whatever we have right now, which is whatever you want to call it. But, the council is more neutral and friendly, and people can talk to them without calling in for an appointment or, it's more friendly, but we got a while for that. Just somebody, those that you can approach. So, enough about that. So, and this is the other part is about the gods that are running our world right now, or they call themselves gods, alien gods. Some are Lyran, some are Anunnaki, some are reptilian. There's a little bit of a bunch of them. They put the mindset that we have right now. And of course, the maps of the ancient maps. So there was alien presence here, obviously, in the past for those maps to be made. That's being covered up for obvious reasons. Not giving me details on that, but of course, others might have a version of how that went down, but it doesn't really matter. Of course, the what was it called? The Tatarians. I forget, Tatarians. Yeah, they got erased from modern history for the most part. Yeah, and basically, basically humans with like superior abilities. Like we have Coral Castle, where a guy figured out the Egyptians, how they did what they did, and created this like Egyptian, moving boulders and all that around, and nobody knows how he did it. So that happens throughout history, where you get like a superhuman type of person that just knows all this stuff. and does these things. Of course, history kind of erases it or forgets or whatever it might be. But to go back to our controllers that are alien beings, elitists, some of them are birds. There's, we're seeing their weaknesses actually. For them to control our planet the way they are doing it, there's several of them, not just one. Palladian involved. Is there some Syrians are involved? It's just what was it? Venus beings, Mars. Take a number. It's like 35. I'm getting 35 species. Jeez. It's not the whole species, but it's groups. They're manipulating our world. Jeez. Yeah, take a number. Probably more than that, but I feel like 35. Jeez. Of course, they're not showing themselves in the skies, which they could. They can instantly, because they control our reality, they can do whatever the hell they want. Obviously, they don't because they don't want to, it's kind of game over for them. So it's similar to the Greek gods that are controlling society, but there's all different types of beings, not just a bunch of Nordics. There are Nordics, but it's all these different ones. So they're just sort of been coming to me recently or today about them ruling our planet, doing it as they please. And it seems like a lot of them, they don't want you to see their faults. They want to feel like they're always in the right. And they fight among each other. This is out in space, of course, or on other planets, but either way, it's and your normal human, your average, doesn't believe in any of this. It just pawns to it. Obviously, they're just so easy to program. I'll call them the gods because they call themselves that. They love being worshipped. That's just the biggest high ever. Oh yeah, that's right. A cathedral, a church in I forgot in New York caught on fire last night. It's like 120 years old. So that shows a breakdown of third dimension. When churches start flaming up and catching on fire, the old ones show the third dimensions breaking down. Just out of nowhere. Just, arson or whatever the hell. It doesn't matter. So that shows that jeez. Yeah. So I guess when they all, it sounds bad, but when they all burn down to the ground, we're going into the fourth dimension. So, yeah. But to go back to how the gods look at humanity, which is pretty obvious, right? Just like what we see in Greek mythology. They know how people think. Obviously, they put those thoughts in majority. And, those that don't believe in any of this, those of you that are becoming more aware of this and just want to think for yourself and break free, which is still a small percent. It's like very small. With the majority, even in spirituality, obviously these gods manipulate that too. Obviously, they're gonna manipulate everything. They don't want you free at all. So they're gonna, because spirituality is a new church now, spiritual church. So, but they know exactly how people are. They're just pawns in their hands basically, and the gods fight among each other how they're going to control society. Obviously, things are falling apart. Obviously, there's another group that came in finally. That's derailing a lot of their connections. Of course, they're not making it easy. So, okay, we're going to, bring in illness here, and others are going to make it difficult, make it harder for everybody. But yeah, these god beings can appear anytime they want. I'm talking about alien beings. Obviously, there's nothing new to a lot of people, but I mean, seriously, they can appear. Yeah, they're just. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's weird where this is going to go. I mean, is society going to snap out? Or, I mean, I felt, yeah, they're not. Or if I tap into their energies, like the god energy, yeah, They're obviously scared to show themselves. They're actually scared because they don't want to lose control. Obviously, so they got humanity by the throat, or more than that. And the more the conversation about these guys exists, the more we can release. From, you know, I'm not sure where things are going to go. Actually, there's 7 of them that are the main players here. They're not showing who they are, but it's like 35 different species that's controlling our society right now. It's probably more, and there's 7 of them that are predominantly running it, kind of like the just make sure we're doing what we're told, or either way. So obviously, many in humanity don't. Yeah. This, I guess, life has given them enough where they're not ready to release all this, not really hit the reset button themselves. It's easier said than done, but it can be done if you're willing to awaken from all the programming. I think the program is going to break down no matter what. But it's too much candy keeping people interested in this place. But it is slowly breaking down. It just so the gods, they're alien gods, obviously. I've been talking about it for a long time, obviously, but I don't really talk about them in this way. Basically, I'm talking about the controllers of our reality. There's 7 of them, meaning 7. Obviously, they're giving me downloads about themselves because I wasn't looking for this. I just got a feeling to connect to it. So there's 7 of them that like make sure that we're following what we're supposed, or what's the narrative. So this is me talking about it and others talking about it. It's like them trying to clear their own karma. Yeah, because they have to reveal themselves eventually. I'm not sure if they're going to show themselves. How that's going to happen, not likely anytime soon. But if more people are curious about who's running our planet, which is still a very small percent. I mean, you can yell at the Rockefellers all day long, and that's great, but it's much more than that. I mean, it's galactic. It just mentioned basically a bunch of spoiled aliens that got everything they want in life. And they're doing a hell of a job running our place. So I think I'm going to go more into this and this connects to the felines too. So they play a big part in this. So, all right, we'll just jump into it. I wasn't sure where this is going to go, but we'll just see where this goes. All right, blessings. Jeez. It's also what call them the gods. Easier to. There's jealousy among them too. These are alien beings in the 4th dimension. Some of them are in 5, but most of them are 4. They're just jealous of it. They're just assholes. Yeah, they get a certain mindset like sports, religion, financial, and just drill us with it. It does seem like in ancient times, we got too powerful for them too. Some of us did, not all of us. But it wasn't enough of us to fight them off. They just got vicious. They just got more. What I felt with, I got a message earlier today about the Atlanteans. Yeah, I think there's a channeling yesterday or whatever, where like friends of the Atlanteans turned against them. But of course, I feel like the Atlanteans, in a positive way, we're going to leave their technologies around, leave all this stuff for us to not mess with it, but know there's something else here. I mean, they're doing it. We see that now at ruins, but there's a lot more stuff that they could have kept around. But those that controlled us or won the war destroyed everything, what was left. But I feel like the Atlanteans and other beings wanted to keep things, keep stuff so we have an idea that we're not alone here. There's a spaceship over there or something. I don't know. Keep their technologies here to some degree. But the ones that took over us, because we lost the war, obviously, they destroyed all of it. So they kept some ruins. They're allowed to keep some stuff, just enough. It compromised, but they got rid. It feels like they destroyed a lot of stuff to remove. So, and that was actually after the flood. Um, they destroyed a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff survived after the flood. It wasn't all went away during the flood. So, anyway, all right, blessings. There we go. Greetings. We are the Lyrans. I am a human. You can call me Moses. I am not the Moses of your Bible. Us humans, Lyrans, are yes known to have web feet, so we can swim underwater. Actually, many of the early humans were very adaptable to many things. Where we can, yes, we had telekinesis abilities. Some of us could fly if you wanted to, but many of us can breathe underwater for a very long time. You say the first humans created by the feline Lyrans are like a super soldier, to a degree, where we can do a great amount of things. And it was a upgrade compared to other humans, but there's always humans that are very advanced by other species. So every alien species, the frog, the elephant, they all have their own version of human somewhere. It's just the feline connected to yours very much. Well, as history in your world, much has been forgotten, erased. So the felines feeling like they're predominantly you are connected to that is not true. You are connected to many other beings. It's just a feline wanted you to worship them. Meaning that many were a part of the human project of developing a Lyran human. Many became dark, godlike, and not all scientists are like this. Many were very calm. Actually, interesting enough, Enki, the Anunnaki, is very connected to the early Lyran human, meaning that Enki played a role in its development as a feline, not Anunnaki. I mean, he had Anunnaki connected, but he was a feline at the time. So, but many felines felt they are superior to many species, even the reptilian, because they finally developed a creature like the human to battle the reptilian. Because felines are losing the war with reptilians, not all wars. So, your planet, is sacrifice, you can say, taken over by many beings that felt it's like the human was wrong. The DNA of the human, why this is even happening here is because I believe this is mentioned before, but we'll say it again. Your human has a lot of DNA that a lot of alien beings want for themselves. It's one of the reasons why they felt betrayed. Why did this world get it and other worlds did not? The other elements of what you are. It's not just the feline, there's others. A lot of alien species died that you have the DNA of at this time. And they're just wondering, it's like, why other species are wondering why they didn't have it for themselves. It goes further than that, but it's part of the reason why you are having the suppression that you have today. Humans, I believe you've heard this before on your world, just were acting up, easy to control, weaponized beings. They were just like playthings to the aliens. Now, some aliens went nothing apart. They wanted to teach humans and bring out the more positive. But the darker alien beings, reptilian, for example, this was a perfect opportunity to rule a world. So once you get into the mental psyche of the human, developing governments, developing money to control your planet. This is nothing new to many of you, but many feline beings, you can say, yes, betrayed a lot of friendly alliances here and gave out secrets, just like any other government. Some felt like they had no choice. So your world is what's happening now, for some of you at least. Majority is still part of the program, which why humans have not awakened, I think some of you know this already though, is because they'll make the gods angry. That's one of the reasons. And people unconsciously are aware of that. They might not say it verbally, but internally they know that something else is here. Obviously they turn it off, laugh it off, because that's what the gods tell them to do. Is the media talking about aliens and not laughing and taking it seriously? No. So the people know what to do. Just laugh it off. Doesn't mean anything. Of course not. Why you are here, why some of you are living agonizing lifetimes here. Here's to bring in more of what's happening here. The raw truth that most of your humans are still in adolescence. Well, knowledge is adolescent. Yeah, they're in infancy of knowledge, you can say. They're not infancy of the person, but the infancy of galactic knowledge. They just shut that off, obviously, because they're not programmed to do otherwise. Many of you went against the program. Obviously, the repercussions of that is not too exciting. Some of you do feel living a dull life here because you're feeling more of your galactic self on other worlds. You know what you're capable of. Of course, that's going to bring depression because you know you can do 1,000 things at once. Go to other planets, go to moons, go to wherever you want and explore. That's why you're here, to bring that knowledge back in. No matter the resistance on the planet. Resistance here. Because even for your average person that's even aware of spirituality, how far are they willing to awaken themselves to who is truly here, to see your gods in your sky, to allow them to really take them seriously. If enough people are aware they exist, it can happen. And it's still a possibility that some of them might show themselves because they don't care anymore. Of course, when they do that, they're going to they know how the humans operate. They know how they can just control the mind. But many of you obviously are resistant to that. Majority of you that are in an awakened state will not have a problem with them if they do appear in the sky and do their destruction. Obviously, there's positive beings, but normally it's the ego that shows up. The ego gods are most likely to make the appearance. Of course, they're going to sell the positive one as much as they want because that's how they disguise themselves. They want humans under their control. It's always about that. The mind it's in their hands. Many of you have escaped that. Obviously, feel depressed and lost and what the hell am I doing here? It's like, so yeah, I don't believe the gods are here to appear themselves just yet, but they are. The more the positive beings are allowing this communication to occur. Well, they're seeing how humans react to see if they're going to take any of this seriously. You can talk and talk and talk all you want, and that's good. But you can't force it on anyone. That won't work anyway. But see how humans react, because humans are going to usually, the candy looks better somewhere else, usually. Video games, movies. But that's all God related, though. It's the signature of the gods. If only people would snap out of it. Of course, that's up to them. But many of the feline beings, the Lyrans, some of them were very friendly to humans in their development. But then some of them changed their mind. Why? For fame and fortune. Truly. For fortune, to have their own planet. But when they realized they can get whatever they wanted, there was always a price to it. So you're in a path of becoming more aware of yourself if you're willing to do so. There is resistance here even as we speak. Humans are not ready for the galactic awakening. Some of you are, but majority is fighting it. Because that's a resistance from their gods. Their gods that are service to themselves. Well, they want to see how humans react. You're going through the same thing like in a Greek mythology. It's just instead of throwing a spear and all that, fighting, you're doing an information war instead. You're doing it in front of your computers. Which maybe not as exciting, but in some ways it's going to get more, you say delicious is the word that they want to use. Reason being for knowledge to come in. Meaning the gods like to test themselves to see if humans are really fit mentally. So they are willing to allow knowledge to come in little by little at a price. But some of you are resistant to their control. So you can say that's one of the reasons why they're speaking or bringing it about themselves. So they don't feel like they're not scared. I mean, not scared in your form of it. They don't like to be seen because they don't want people to go against them. They like the control they have as a high for them. Yeah, when they have the mindset that they put out and humans are doing what they say, it's like a daily high. It's like, it's good to be us. Where they can do anything they want. People feel like they're free here, but they really aren't. But the gods are free. Of course, they are contracted to control this world. Meaning they're not willing to let it go. Meaning that their families won't let them let it go if some do want to let it go. So those that want to resist with the alien suppressors, that's why many of you are here to continue to the release, to show that humans are capable of taking back their planet, even if it's only a few of you. It does. So another way in your meditations, if you're willing to connect to these beings, yes, you might see them as 12 feet tall beings, like you see in your fiction, or taller. They like to look big. And some of them are giants. They're not necessarily having to choose that form. But the truth is inevitable, isn't it? Something, just look into your heart. What do you see? You might feel your own fear. Even the gods, they're not running scared like some of us say. But they do have fear of losing control. Yes, they don't like that. They don't like being seen and losing their grip over the planet. But there are exceptions where they just say, the hell with it. And that is what many of you are reaching towards. You are reaching towards them showing themselves. Not just alien beings in general, but those that are controlling your world. For the elite alien beings to show themselves says a lot of... of course, most of your people aren't going to believe it anyway. If you have a visual of it physically, most of your people aren't going to believe it, but that doesn't mean they're not going to begin to do so. So for us speaking about this shows what's in the cards. So, not to put fear or anything like that. No, that's up to you and your own fear. If you want to be fearful, that's up to you. But the reason why we're bringing this up, I mean, it might feel a little bit frightening to see a being in the sky like that. That looks like a giant. That's not just your average giant. It's a god of your planet, one of them at least. Yeah, they call themselves gods. They're not really gods. They're gods of your reality. So, like some of your ministers that they planted here, your religious figures that they planted, when they say God and they say He, who are they actually speaking about? So this is what the riddle you're here to solve. Of course, it's up to you in the long run. The keys, yeah, I mean, we don't have to do this, but many of you are willing to awaken, as painful as it is, because most of your majority is under their control, as it's been in the past. Nothing's changed. Your Greek gods had control over humans. Of course, there's always somebody who would throw something at them, like Ulysses would fight him. It's only a few that would fight back, but the rest of the masses does what they're told, just like you're living right now. You don't recognize the gods, but you recognize religion, which is still a form of the gods. So we're just saying that some of you are going to feel more of their presence, wherever they might be, because we're going to leave it open for who they are. Now, obviously, many are on your side, too. Many are positive for you, yes. This would not be happening right now. This is only fair. Of course, it might not be as fair as you like it to be, but it's fair in their eyes. It's little by little. I mean, yes, they allow all this negative, and here's a little bit of positive. But you take what you can get. But it's amazing what you can use with that. So yes, you can say we're going back to Greek times. As that was a time, well, not in your history, but that was a time when everything was erased. Before Egyptian history was written, Greeks were just as old as the Egyptians, basically. You're going here to heal your suppressors or recognize them. If you want to fight them mentally, that's up to you. Obviously, they feel like they know everything. But that's for you to bring encouragement within yourself. So, some of them use tricks or energies. Of course they do. They use everything on your planet to bring fear, control, the reality, sports. They love sports because so many people humans are physical people. They want to move around all that, but they want to control that, as you can see. So mainstream, anything, corporations are going to, even them are going to reveal themselves of who's controlling them. So little by little, though. They're not going to give you too much. But little by little, you'll get more of an idea of who your gods are controlling your planet. Now, the cycle is coming to an end, but it doesn't mean they're going to just go and walk away. So, but they like a good challenge as you go into your awakening, those that wish to acknowledge their existence. So, that's all we have at this time. Blessings.